their all-time greatest goal kicker, Taylor Walker, with a welcome off. Here's Rosselli. Rosselli kicks the goal.
Handball to the excitement machine, McLeod. Left foot goal.
Oh, don't tell me.
He's a superstar.
Don't tell me. Oh! He's yet to kick an AFL goal. Oh, the velvet curtain.
Walker, oh, he's a colossus. He's kicked 5. He's been a handful. He's been the difference.
To cover himself in glory.
He's coming back.
And got there.
Hello and welcome to our new series called Track Watch. My name is Dill from the Proper Crows podcast. This is just going to be something that we're going to be doing midweek, just as a bit of a filler for the week, away from our normal Sunday night upload. You can expect some stuff like some sample news, some track watch, what's been happening, some emerging players, and just what's been happening during the week that you might have missed or that you might have seen, and just for us to sort of deep dive into it a little bit more. This might be solo, just for me, or sometimes I'll have Benny or I'll have Matt or I'll have Dom there. It's just something different that we're going to be trialing during the season. Today, I've got Ben. Benny, how are you, mate?
Very good, mate. I'm getting very excited as we get closer to footy. We're only, just over a month away now, so can start actually watching some trainings and take something out of it. So, yeah, very excited, mate.
Yes, no, it's very good. Just quickly as well, sort of getting into the footy season, you might have seen in our socials that we have got some hats coming out as well. These are the ones I've got on my head here. They are a two-toned corduroy cap. I'll sort of just show you on here. It does look a bit like Sydney, but we wanted to sort of step away from the usual merch that the club had, something a little bit lighter. So you can sort of see it is corduroy, two-toned, has our logo on the front, and then on the back as well, it does say Proper Crows. So just keep an eye out for that. Me and Benny are pretty proud of this. We've spent a little bit of time working on it. And just a massive thank you to Rodney and Mark, just out in Melbourne, who have helped us with all of this. Very seamless process. So if you ever need anything to do with merchandise or team sport stuff, check them out because you won't be disappointed. It was just a really easy process to get through, from nothing to having a hat within 3 weeks. Sick, great, good pricing. So could not recommend them highly enough. But all right, we'll get into it, Benny. We are recording this as of the 6th of February. It's a Friday afternoon. Yes. We've had some pretty shit news come out today. Mark Keane fracturing his leg. It's a pretty bad one. It's not a pretty watch, is it? Having a look at that footage, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, no, the watching and the listening of it as well, you can actually hear it happen in the vision. I don't know if you've watched it with sound. I'd probably suggest not watching it with sound. But, yeah, very unfortunate for a man who was obviously in the 40-man All-Australian squad last year and looking ready to be primed for another big year in Keno. So it's, big shame that he's obviously injured himself at this point of the pre-season.
Yeah. So as of now, we're recording this at 8:30 on the Friday night. Nixie came out about 2 hours ago and said that he's going to be having surgery tonight. So I dare say, at time of recording, Keno is under the knife at the moment. So we do wish him all the best for his rehab and his recovery. Looks like he's about a round 6 or 7 return, which probably flows into our next injury of Dan Curtin. We haven't recorded since this happened. What a freak incident. What a freak accident.
Yeah.
Just dislocating a kneecap wrestling jiu-jitsu. Like, what are we thinking? I think Kane Corns, hit the nail on the head with this. What are we doing? And he didn't say it just to us. He went to every single club. It's ridiculous that we're doing this sort of training drill. I'm not sure where you stand on it, but I think it's just,
Yeah, no, I'm in the exact same boat. I mean, you're practicing a skill that if you did it in a game, you're going to get probably fined for, potentially even suspended for. I understand the importance of, working on your grappling and tackling and all of that sort of stuff, but do that on your feet like you see with key forwards and backmen wrestling with each other. Don't jump each other on the ground and roll around and then, land on someone's knee and pop it out. Obviously, Dawes didn't need to do that, and it's a freak accident end of the day, but it's just, it seems like a pointless exercise from the outside looking in, really.
Yep, 100%. It just seems like it was avoidable, and that's really the bottom line. It seemed like an avoidable injury. Dan, he has had a bit of a history with popping his knee out as an underager and a junior, and that is why they have elected to go down the surgery route. So, best of luck to Dan. It's just very disappointing when you sort of saw these images coming out of his work on the track and you thought, wow, like we've got one here. And, it's only a 6-week setback. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
And rather this happen now than sort of end of season and all this bullshit that we saw end of last year. Like we don't want that happening again. We get it done now. We can sort of stabilize our best 23 going into, the end of year, and we're happy. But it's just a little bit of a shame that they're going to be coming back underdone, round 6 or 7. But I'm looking at it this way. These boys are going to get, don't you laugh. Don't you laugh. I didn't even mean that. I didn't even mean that. Fuck's sake. But I'm looking at it this way. These boys are going to come back in round 6 or round 7, and they're going to have a good 6-week stint, and they're going to have a bye. So they're going to get their fitness back for 6 weeks, and then, they can go back, have a rest, and they can come back to the second half of the season. So we do have the late round 13 bye, which that's the upside of it. They get a good 7-week block of football in, or even if they are playing Sandford in round 7, they get a good 4-week block in, have a month off. They can really sort of go through that, that rehab stage, get the strength back, and then we're back in business for the second half of the season. All right.
Yeah.
That's
before we move on from the injuries are we calling out Dan Gorringe or what as well, by the way, with his little curse? Comes to the club, Danny gets injured next day. Club posts a video with him in yesterday. Keane gets injured today. I mean, pretty clear. Just please don't come back to the club, Dan. I know you grew up supporting us, but fuck me,
It's a proper Dan curse. The shrimp curse is gone, and now a Dan Gorringe curse, isn't it? Whoever he gets around, even like the Rams, he got around the fucking Rams, and look what happened to him. Yeah, it's a bit ridiculous at this point. But yeah, look, Dan, fuck off, leave us alone. Go back to Carlton. Go back to Carlton.
Yeah, please. Or head down to Geelong or something like that. Just somewhere else.
Yeah, 100%. But look, we're going to get into a few notes here that we've got from Match Sim. A big thank you to Vardy Magic on X for these ones, and then Big Man over on Big Footy as well. A lot of these notes are coming from these guys. They do some excellent work. If you don't follow Vardy Magic on X, go and suss them out. And then Big Footy as well. This Big Man, I've only just found in the last week or so, but some of his analysis on match sim and training is just next level. So if you haven't sussed him out, go and have a look, because he goes through the drills and everything. It is very, very good content. So big thank you to those guys. That's where a lot of these notes are coming from.
Yeah.
So we'll go into, this is last week's training session match sim. This is when it was the 30th of January. Today, they're meant to have another match sim today, but didn't really go ahead after Keno broke his leg. It was sort of slowed down a little bit after that. So we're going to dissect this a little bit and go through a few of the notable ones that have gone through.
Yeah.
So the big one I think that we all sort of went on about was Josh Rochelle playing through the middle, kicking 4 goals. Do you think we're going to see a little bit more of that this year, Benny?
100%, mate.
Yeah.
If all I mean, he's out in the media talking about midfield time, and we know players do this at this time of year. But if he's rolling through the guts in 3 quarters, kicking 4 snags and doing all that through the middle, he's the type of player who can go through the middle and have a bit of an impact. He's versatile. He can swap his role with Rankin as well. They're very similar in terms of that athleticism and, speed through the guts. So I think we'll be seeing a lot of Ratch through the middle this year. And if that match sim's anything to go by, it's pretty exciting. As you know, very bullish on Rash.
Yeah, 100%. So it'll just be interesting to see what the sort of mix is through the middle with Rash and Rankin and Peatling and Dawson. But I guess we'll see that come round 1, how that's going to work. Luke Pedlar moving well, pretty fit by all reports as well. I've seen a few people saying this. I think Josh Money reported on it as well. I think it's a bit of a make or break for Luke Pedlar this year. He needs to show something. He's a pick 11. Taking his first rounder, sort of a big bolter, and hasn't shown too much. Kicked a few goals fine footy last year, end of the year. But I think, I'm a big fan of Luke Pedlar. You know this. Dom isn't a big fan of Luke Pedlar, but I think he does need to show something. And if we can sort of get him moving through the midfield a little bit, or sort of pushing a little bit higher up from that half forward flank where he can play, I think we're in for a pretty big year with Lukey Pedlar.
Yeah, 100%. And by all reports, he's been training a bit further up the ground as well, pushing towards that midfield. So I don't think he's obviously not a Rankin Rochelle type with the speed, but if he can establish some game through the guts and really solidify himself, that'd be very good to see.
Yep. Then we've got Hugh Bond as well, apparently been very, very heavily involved within the match scene within the A's. We saw him play a bit of finals football last year. In
Yeah.
my opinion, he got exposed a little bit, but apparently I was one of the only ones that thought that. I don't know if I'm watching a different game of football or not, but it's if Hugh Bond, is able to sort of be a bit of depth, and that's great for us. He's a good little player. Nothing against Bondy, but is he what we really need? I'm not quite sure, but it is good to hear that he is sort of getting a little bit more involved.
Yeah, no, 100%. He
Yeah.
just felt, I'm probably the same boat as you, mate. He just felt
Yeah.
a bit off the pace. It's a little bit behind, and especially in the final series, I thought he got shown up a bit as well, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. Next one we've got Archie Ludwig. Vardy Magic said he's a very impressive unit. He looks like a very impressive unit, but he wasn't actually involved in the match in any of the ball drills. So maybe he's got a little bit of a niggle. I'm not 100% sure, but I've seen a few reports of this the last few days that he hasn't been really touching the footy, and he's just been involved in a bit of running. So maybe they're just taking care of the big man. He's only 18 years old. He's a big body. He's getting used to everything still. So if he can get the tank up and getting ready for some Sandford football, I'm pretty excited to see what he can do against these mature bodies in the Sandford and see if he can kick a few goals.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yep.
He's pretty excited about him from his draft. He seems like a player who's sort of switched on, has something to prove. I'm very excited about Archie, and it'd be good to see what he can do in the Sandford, like you said.
Yeah. And then this is the interesting one. Zach Foote. He is one of our SPPs. As of yesterday, it looks like Tom McGain, I think that's how you say his name, said his goodbyes. Yeah, said his goodbyes to the club. Unfortunately for Tommy, there was a few clips that came around his first week. And he was moving the ball well off half back, and you thought, wow, you might have found a play here. He went out undrafted. He was touted as a first round pick at this time last year. As a father-son to Collingwood, obviously didn't end up, and then the poor kid's gone and hurt his ankle within 2 weeks of training on here. So, bit unlucky with Tom, but that's footy, I guess. So Zach Foote, I think he's 25. He used to play out at Sydney. From all reports, been absolutely he killed it out at Southport in the VFL the last couple of seasons. Pretty quick on his feet, decent ball user through the midfield. Very unfashionable, but look, you need a bit of filth to you, I guess. But I think that will come out in the next week or two, won't it? If we've signed him on, am I right in saying that?
I think so. Yeah, I reckon it's somewhere around the 20th of February is the cutoff date. I'm pretty sure for the SSPs. So should hear in the next few weeks. And obviously, if Tommy McGowan's dropped off, he's probably in box seat to get that spot.
Yeah, so good luck to Zach. If he gets the opportunity again, it'll be good to see what he can do, and give a few of the boys a bit of a shake up. To play off that half forward and push toward midfield. Yeah. Then the last bit we've got here, I haven't seen the footage of this, but I have seen a few people talking about it of Callum Archie and his ball use. Apparently, he's just been next to none. Been lacing out Thilthorpe and Darcy. All day, all through training. Apparently, it's just the way how vocal he is and how he's been moving. It's very exciting to have Neil Bullen on one flank, Archie on the other flank. I think we're in pretty good stead.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we've known this since we brought him in, but he's just, from the small clips that you see so far, he's bringing in that class, he's bringing in that experience, dual premiership player. He's exactly what we need, sort of feeding that ball in. And you're right, Nibbler on one side, Archie on the other side, you're in pretty good stead to feed a very dangerous forward line. So very excited to see how they work together.
Yeah, 100%. And then we've got Indy Cotton, which we spoke about at the end of last year a little bit. And, in our draft preview and our draft review, we spoke about this bloke a little bit because no one knows anything about him. Hasn't played football, for the good part of about, half a decade since he was 14. And big man over in Big Footy, thanks for this little insight, have said that this bloke has a terrific pair of hands. So they can see while they've been playing him forward. So it looks like they've been playing him. He's 195 centimetres. He's a big boy. He's a big boy. So it looks like they've been playing him forward. Terrific pair of hands. And the problem is that he's such a hard role for someone to play who hasn't played footy in half a decade, which is completely correct. And it also has on here,
Yeah.
hopefully on Friday, assuming there's a match sim, he can get used to the other positions. Well, we know how today went. Bit unfortunate, with the Keno injury. I don't think much has gone on. I haven't seen any other reports of any other match sim going on from there.
Yeah.
But, if he's got a good set of hands, you can maybe see Indy Cotton being a bit of that Matthew Richardson up the wing type, couldn't you?
There's a bit of that. He's a genuine athletic freak. So he's the type of bloke who could probably get that done.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to sort of see these match sims coming up and these internals to see where they do play Indy, because I really am very, very excited to see what this kid can do, because there's nothing else out there. So it'll be good to see. And Benny, I'll be honest with you, this note here that I've got up next on the run sheet is probably the thing I'm most excited for. Braden Cook. I'm a very big fan of Cookie. Really big fan of him. He's been training with the A's off half back as that main distributor. Is he taking that Rory Laird spot? Do you really think he's going to take that Rory Laird, that Brodie Smith sort of role? Is he quick enough?
He's definitely got pace.
Yeah.
He showed a little bit up forward and has shown some prowess up forward. But obviously, when you got a stacked forward line and you bring in Cal Marchi and all these blokes are floating around there's pretty limited space for a young fella. I feel like he definitely could go to half back and make that his own. It's just the disposal is probably the question for me, whether he can sort of lift that, because there were a few occasions last year and over the last couple of years where he's been a little bit wayward with the disposal. But if you can polish that up, he's quick. He's got a good kick. Yeah, I think he'll go well off a halfback, and maybe similar to a Mitch Hinge sort of build, I reckon.
Yeah, see, I'm a little bit opposite to what you're thinking is. I think he's a good user of the ball. When he's got ball in hand, he does seem a little bit silky with it. He's a good user of the football. Like he's been a little bit wasteful from time to time. He had that one shocker middle of the year. I think he had 6 touches, turned it over 6 fucking times. But that was the off occasion. We saw how well he played in Sandville finals. He kicked 6 against Glenelg playing off a wing.
Yes,
that was good to see. I was there for that day, and I was like, wow, this kid can play, and hopefully he can sort of translate this into some decent football. So when I did see that he was training off half back, I was very excited to see, because I do love Cookie, and I really hope that he can prove a few people wrong, because I've seen a few people calling for his head. But we'll sort of see how that plays out. I think with 5 on the bench as well, it gives us a little more flexibility as well. Just have a bloke like that who is a little bit more versatile, who you can go and rest forward if he needs to, or you can put him onto a bit of a wing if you need to, or you can just fuck him off and be the 5th man on the bench who doesn't come on. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
right.
There's a bit to play out there, but that will be exciting. So next bit we're going to get into is the A and the B teams, the notable ins and outs of what went on here. I will put an asterisk though on Nick Murray, due to what happened today. He's going to slot back into the A's. So we'll go now and say Nick Murray, Jordan Butts, you're starting fullback and you're starting centre halfback round 1. There's no if buts or maybes to that is now locked in. That will happen barring injury to any of those boys. Touch wood. So notable A's, we've touched on a couple of these already. Braden Cook, Hugh Bond, Jordan Butts, Sam Berry, Mitch Hinge, Luke Pedler, Chase Jones, and Riley O'Brien. Is there anyone that sort of stands out there to you, Benny?
There's one very, very, very big standout in a man who we talked about a couple of weeks ago, who could be playing for a contract or maybe to bolster his Tassie bank. Chase Jones is a very interesting one to see floating around the A's for mine. The rest of them probably around it. Rob for me isn't a notable A. You expect him. He's in P1 for that spot. Pedler was obviously around the team late last year. Hinge the same, Berry the same. Butts would have been a bit more of a surprise if today hadn't happened with Keno. And then Bond and Cook were both around the side as well. So they don't surprise me. But Chase Jones is very interesting.
That makes my eyes light up a little bit after my after my big prediction. He plays 10 or more games. So I really hope it works out for Chase. I do. I really hope it works out for him. But it'll be interesting to see where he plays his footy, because I think he's a little bit of an X factor running through that midfield, these big tackling that he can do now that we saw the Sandville last year. I think he had 15 tackles, 14 tackles, 12 tackles. The boy can tackle now. Yeah, but we'll see. The notable Bs here, there's a couple surprises here for me. Luke Nankervis, Lockie
Yep.
Scholl, Lockie McAndrew, Billy Dowling, Zach Taylor, Big Finbar, and Borlace. The big standouts for
Yeah.
me there is Nankervis and Zach Taylor. I thought they might have been training with the A's.
It's an interesting one. And obviously, the match sim A's and B's, you think about how much you can take out of it. Because if you're thinking about it, defensive wise, you probably want your defenders to play on your best forwards. So
Mhm.
one of them is going to have to be team A, team B. So it could just be a matter of they're just throwing the magnets around a bit and, doing it line by line or whatever they may be doing. But yeah, I tend to agree with you there a little bit. And even noting on here, Zach Foote as well in the Bs.
Yep.
If he's, playing around the squad, he's obviously doing something right. But yeah, it's probably about right, I'd say. Big Finbar,
Mhm.
I enjoy seeing him. I'm very keen to see what he can do this year, and hopefully he can prove a few people wrong. But yeah, it's probably about right for mine.
Yeah, I think the one for me is Zach Taylor with the Bees. I would love to see him play some senior footy again this year and for him to move through the midfield a little bit. I was massive on him in his draft year. So I was pretty happy last year when he sort of cemented a spot a little bit and he started to mix with that midfield mix a little bit. I was
Yeah.
very, very happy to see because I'm not sure if a lot of people know, but in his juniors, he was averaging 35 touches a game in the talent league. This
Yeah.
kid can find the football. He can find the football. He just needs to be given the opportunity. He's a bit of a smaller body, which obviously goes against the grain a little bit these days with your midfield. You're starting to move away from your Matt Crouch types and your Tom Mitchell types, which is what he sort of came through in that era of. But I still think he's got something to give in the middle. I really do. And I'd really
Yeah.
hope that he can sort of flourish into that sort of pinch hitter through there that I think he can do. Now, I'm
Yeah.
probably his biggest fan. I love him. I really do. And I hope it works out for him. And then what we'll do as well, we'll just touch on one more player that's sort of gone. A lot of people wanted him to be playing some senior footy last year.
Yeah.
I've had a few disagreements on socials over him because I've got a bit of an opinion on him. Charlie Edwards playing midfield in the Bees. I
Yeah.
think he's very wasteful of the football. I don't think he has the defensive pressure of what you need to be playing league football. I'm very happy to be proven wrong. I would love to be proven wrong, but I just don't think I'm going to be. And this is a make or break year for him. If he doesn't do it now, he's getting delisted. He's gone.
Yeah. I did. I'll add to that. I was watching the Q&A with Nixie that got posted earlier this afternoon. He mentioned Charlie Edwards in there, saying he was probably a bit stiff not to get in there last year. And he mentioned whether he gets his chance early this year or closer to the middle of the year, they're not sure. But it sounds like they're pretty keen on him. So, I mean, I
Yeah.
think we'd probably at least see a debut this year. But, how early or when in the season that is, not too sure. But I probably would err closer to the side of your opinion there, where he's a bit wasteful. He
Mm.
has a bit to learn, a bit of his game to develop. So I don't know whether I want to be seeing him out there on round one, but if he can put some more form in the SANFL together, then I'd be happy for him to get a shot and go from there.
Yeah.
'Cause he did have some great games in the SANFL last year, to be fair to him.
Yeah, 100%. And I've been having a lot of argument, not often say arguments, but a lot of conversation with people on socials about this because they always highlight he had 92% disposal efficiency in the sandful. I'm going to put it out there right now. Disposal efficiency is the biggest load of bullshit stat that the AFL provides. If you do a
Yep.
bomb kick 30 meters, it hits a pack, it gets listed as contested. It gets listed as a efficient disposal.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And I don't know how many people watched a lot of sample last year, but Charlie Edwards is that big bomb kick. Gets the ball, he bombs long. Now, don't get me wrong, he can be clean with the football when they're chipping around the back, and he boosts those stats with that. But when he's in a one-on-one possession, he needs to either handball. There's a lot to learn for Charlie, and I hope that he sort of bolsters his game a little bit. And I hope over the off season they've really worked with him because there is so much to like there. He's quick. He's got that big bomb kick. He's a big body. He's like 188 centimeters.
Yeah.
He's a big boy. There's a lot to work with there. So I really do hope that he sort of nails it down. But I think there's still a little bit to come from him. So it's interesting to see that he's playing midfield as well, and not off half back where he was playing in the sample last year.
Yeah, it's an interesting push through. I suppose they're looking for anything to sort of, bolster that midfield. Obviously, we've seen that, we tried to go for a couple of midfielders last year, couldn't get them in the trade period, and Sid's working through his injuries, and there's just a few, Dan Curtin now as well. So they're probably looking at the magnets going, we need a bit more depth in there. So they're probably throwing the magnets around a bit and seeing what sticks and if anyone stands out or shows up, and hopefully Charlie can do that. But I'd like to see him proved a bit in the SANFL before we go rushing him into an AFL side in the middle. That's for sure.
Yeah, 100%. So just finishing up here, we've got two more match sims or internals coming up. We've actually got a internal on the 13th of February, I do believe. And then we've got match sim on the Friday, the 20th of Feb out of Alberton. And then we've got our Amy Series game against Fremantle on the 28th of February. So this is our last weekend without footy, Benny. Exciting.
Yes, mate. Very, very exciting. I'm pondering travelling down to Alberton on a Friday afternoon after work to watch some footy. That's how we're feeling at the moment, and how exciting it is to have it back, mate. I'm just I'm itching to go after the way that last year ended. I hope we come back and can just prove a lot of people wrong, because there's a lot of haters, a lot of loud people out there at the moment, unfortunately, and it would be good to shut them up.
Yeah, 100%. Thanks for joining me for this new little series, Benny. It's exciting to get it up and running. Been having it sort of in the back of mind for a little bit. So just watch out for this one. It'll be mainly focused to YouTube, but we'll have it out on Spotify as well as a podcast. As I said before, it might just be me sometimes. Might just be one of the other boys, but it'll probably mainly just be me. And if the other boys can join, then I will have them on here. So we'll have this up probably as of Saturday afternoon. And then we'll have another one out for Wednesday as well. And then every other Wednesday after that. Thanks for joining us for the first episode of Track Work. And we will see you on Sunday afternoon. I do believe we're going to be recording our first normal weekly pod. So go the Crows, and we'll see you then.
Absolutely. Catch ya.
Ring the bell! Ring the bell! The bell in the city of churches! Stand up like Matthew Nix and roar like you never have before!
Jarman again, round the body. That'll do. Oh, that will do. Oh, unbelievable.